everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, finally, for the first time ever, I'm unboxing the pure perfume of Coco Mademoiselle in the purse spray form, 7.5 ml. What does this mean? This means that this is a spray, and that means quite rare because usually Chanel does not really sell as many of these pure perfume sprays because they're such tiny quantities. 7.5 ml is 0.25 fluid ounces. So they're not discontinuing them, but the distribution is getting more and more limited. I was quite shocked actually to find this at duty free. Usually they just don't have them. They would have splash bottles, 15 ml, rarely 7.5 ml, and sometimes of Chanel No. 5 they would have a 30 milliliter pure perfume bottle. So I'm not the biggest fan of Coco Mademoiselle. I kind of do appreciate the Olivier Paul's rendition of Coco Mademoiselle Intense, or Eau de Parfum Intense. It's not bad, I have to say. I do use it from time to time. However, the pure perfume, now that's something to try out. I notice, because it should be the most intense, right? We think it is, at least, but I know better because Chanel No. 5 in pure perfume form is softer, actually, especially in the dry down, than, for example, Chanel No. 5 Eau de Parfum. So back to Coco Mademoiselle pure perfume or extract. What I notice immediately is that as opposed to the Chanel No. 5 pure perfume, Coco Mademoiselle does not have a box-in-a-box system. What does this mean? This means that when you buy the Chanel No. 5 pure perfume, it comes in this, you see there's a kind of a gap here, because you will see that the box will open up like that. And this mechanism is itself placed inside another paper container, and then it has the plastic foil around it. Coco Mademoiselle does not have the paper box surrounding this kind of clamshell type of container. So why that is, we do not know. Let's open it up and see. And you know, these batch codes, again, they're not selling that well. This is a batch code 2101. That's a pretty decently, fairly young and new batch code. However, the newest ones are already now, as we're filming this in October 2018, have reached the 3000s. So even though this one was purchased now, you know, it's been around for at least a year or half a year before it was purchased by me. Let's open it up. Is there something holding it? No. And okay, here we go. Super simple. They don't even give you really a paper. Like usually Chanel No. 5 has a little leaflet here that explains how to change, how to refill the pure perfume sprayer. Let's put this out for a second and see the paper packaging. It's quite beautiful and elegant. It has a pearly sheer touch to it. It's like kind of a pearly, very, very pale rosy pink color. It's not the Chanel white we're used to. For example, here we have the Chanel No. 5 Eau de Parfum. You can see I haven't done an unboxing of this one. It's a different color. This is a pearly rosy color, and this is the Chanel classic white color. Very sturdy cardboard. It's quite beautiful. And the inside is also pearly, less lacquered, a bit more mattified. Well, this is the lacquered bit and this is mattified. It's not as glossy as the outside. Made in France. Even the container is not white. It is metal. It's very cold to the touch. Also pearly in its color and the reflections it has. And then it has a gold ring around it. You open it like this. And here's a little spray nozzle. Is this refillable? Wait, don't tell me it's not refillable. Ah, it is. Okay. strange because I was a little bit shocked because here it doesn't say it's refillable. Usually, you know, on the Chanel No. 5 Pure Perfume, it would say per spray or refillable per spray, and then you could buy the refills. Strange. Even on the actual little glass vial, it would state refill, but this one just states Parfum 7.5 ml. And it goes in here, like that. Let's just compare it before I spray it on to the Chanel No. 5 Pure Perfume, which I have here. Same bottles or containers, except one black and one pearly rose, almost white, pale rose. Difference, I mean, they're both in metal, but the Chanel No. 5 feels colder to the touch, so I'm thinking, is this really metal or not? Yeah, it is metal. It's plastic on the inside, and then on the outside, it's metal. You can actually see here a thin layer of metal surrounding the inner plastic. But what I notice, Coco Mademoiselle Pure Perfume, at the bottom of the bottle has a sticker. This is a sticker where we have the batch code 2101, and then we have Coco Mademoiselle Parfum made in France, and then all the other information. As opposed to the Pure Perfume of Chanel No. 5, where, and I find that much better, the information pertaining to Chanel No. 5 is etched inside into the metal. It's not a sticker. So in fact, that's because they do say that it is refillable. This one doesn't have a batch code on it. Why should it? You're supposed to refill it always with another bottle. When you empty the glass bottle in here, you should put a new one inside, and the actual glass vial has its batch code. This is 0301, for example. It's right up there, almost invisible, but it's there. And lo and behold, what does Chanel No. 5 state? It states Parfum, and then here at the bottom you see it says Recharge Refill 7.5 ml. Coco does not state any of that. I wonder. I'm going to have to ask my Chanel sales associates if they sell refills. I have seen refills of this, have I? Maybe I haven't. Okay, well, let's spray it on and test out the Pure Perfume Coco Mademoiselle. It's very, very light. It's very, very delicate. It's not as strong as COCO Mademoiselle Intense, which is strange because you would think, you know, it's a pure perfume. It's very determined. It's very well balanced and blended. Like, I have the feeling that every ingredient is blended in the pure perfume like a razor. It really cuts through. It's very clear and precise. Less frizzy and fuzzy around the edges as would be the Eau de Toilette or the Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum Intense has more of a clear structure as well, but the pure perfume is very well blended. It's really, really good. It's almost like a berry. I mean, it is a sweet patchouli, and I'm not a big fan of sweet patchoulis, but there's like a berry touch to it that doesn't make it smell in any way suffocating. Patchouli can sometimes go a bit moldy, humid in a weird way. This one doesn't. This one stays very, very sharp and focused. And crisp. It's very crystalline. It's very, very, I mean, the aldehydes in here are very sparkly, but sparkly in a berry, fruity type of way. that definitely gives it a much more sophisticated tone on my skin, at least, as opposed to the Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Toilette or Eau de Parfum, or even the Eau de Parfum Intense for that matter. This one definitely has more of a elegant streak to it. You still recognize that it's Coco Mademoiselle, and it's still very unequivocally Coco Mademoiselle, but it's elevated in tone. It's not more screechy, it's not more aggressive in any way, it's not obnoxious, it's not cloying as one would expect from pure perfumes. But in general, you know, Chanel's pure perfumes are never really cloying. They just have sometimes, well, they should have better ingredients, higher concentration of essential oils, slightly different formulations, balanced out better. This one definitely feels like a very well blended and balanced Coco Mademoiselle. Definitely. And now that it's kind of, you know, now as I'm talking and as some time is passing, I am feeling also an interesting touch. There's a hint of, because it's so fruity, the powdery note in there, the possible iris in there doesn't really develop its kind of dry, smoky touch as it could. But on the other hand, it rather goes, not dry, but almost misty, as if you're like walking through a crystalline mist of hints of what could be powdery, but it stays very fresh and very on the surface and sparkly. And this is an interesting thing to note about Coco Mademoiselle, and that is that the pure perfume is way more, I would say, how would you say it? As opposed to the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum Intense, this one stays bubbly and sparkly. The other ones, as they dry down, they tend to go into that fruit chouly direction, while this one, I have the feeling, is going to kind of keep its freshness throughout the entire run on the skin. It kind of keeps elevating itself, which is a great thing about most Chanel pure perfumes. They kind of have this tendency and a quality to them. They keep refreshing themselves on your skin throughout the process of the development, you know, all the way through the heart notes and the dry down. They don't go bland. They don't bleach out. They don't fade out. They rather go out with a bang. Even the deepest of dry downs, while we're towards the end of the lifespan of the perfume on the skin, Chanel pure perfumes will still deliver a freshness and uniqueness to them that even in that last breath that they emanate before they're gone, they will still say, I'm here, I'm a Chanel perfume, I am very well blended, and I will sparkle for you until the end. And this one definitely gives me that exact impression, and it's so beautiful on the skin. And it's so soft and delicate at the same time, which I don't get from the Eau de Parfum. I do have a pre-reformulated version of the Eau de Parfum of Coco Mademoiselle. And I do state in my review, also on my channel that I've done a couple of years ago, that unlike most other Chanel perfumes, the Eau de Parfum of Coco Mademoiselle does not really smell very good on my skin. It does smell good on clothes, however, but it has a tendency of going acidy, not really pissy, but acidy on my skin, and that can really irritate me. This one doesn't at all. This one, as I sprayed it on my skin and as I'm talking to you right now, it just really smells good. There's also kind of like a hint of champagne in it. Like it's almost like a frizzy, bubbly champagne, very fruity champagne. Really, really great. I will be repurchasing this one for sure. Now, if I can only figure out if I can purchase refills for this, or if Chanel is going cheap on us, and you kind of have to keep buying these bottles with batch codes on them, these containers. I don't think that's a very cool thing to do, Chanel. Why are you doing this to us? But another thing I've noticed in the past, I have seen the Pure perfume, maybe this was a limited edition, but they would sell them with a little pouch, like a little kind of microfiber pouch with a kind of a clip button to close the pouch, so that you can carry your Pure perfume without damaging it or scratching it, because it would be a pity to scratch this rosy pink metal container. It's so beautiful and elegant, so timeless. And I have to say, I was not a big fan of Coco Mademoiselle in the past years. I had the feeling it was a very time-specific fragrance. I had the feeling it wouldn't age well. But now that time is passing, and the more time passes, and the more I have the impression that this one is actually gaining its own ground, and I have the feeling this one will stand the test of time. Because even though, well, in pure perfume form for sure, even though, you know, it's a very stubborn fragrance in terms of it knows what it is and it smells of Coco Mademoiselle, it's unequivocal, you cannot mistake it for anything else. Nevertheless, it definitely has a... And you know when it was made, you know the decade that it was made in, as it was a younger fragrance upon its release. It was very, very time specific. But now the time is passing, and that it stays kind of stubborn and true to its formulation, maybe slightly watered down as opposed to how it was when it was first released, but still, nevertheless, unequivocally Chanel Coco Mademoiselle. Now it seems like it broke through that barrier of time, and it has proven itself as a timeless fragrance. I know that, you know, these two are the biggest competitors of each other. You know, Coco Mademoiselle and Chanel No. 5, they keep kind of outbidding each other and winning each other in different battles. You know, there are months where one sells more than the other. Chanel No. 5 kind of overall still tends to win, but then again, in an overall battle, Chanel No. 5 has been on the market since 1921. Coco Mademoiselle has not been on the market that long, so you can't really compare the two. But in terms of how well they sell, they're up there. They're close to one another. So Coco Mademoiselle has proven itself to be a classic Chanel fragrance, even though Coco Chanel herself, never smelled it. Obviously, it was formulated after her passing. But to me, Jacques Polge did a great job, I have to say, especially with the pure perfume. And with these relatively new batches, this one is about a year old, I guess, but with the pure perfume of Coco, you definitely get a very good idea, still today, in my opinion, of what Jacques' vision of the pure perfume was for this fragrance. The fruit patchouli aspect is a bit more tamed. There's a bit less patchouli arrogance, if you want. To me, patchouli is usually arrogant as an ingredient. Oh, it's so beautiful. And it's creamy. Now it's turning like... it's turning creamy and balsamy on my skin as well. Like almost like milky in a way. Like, I want to show it to you. I can't show you the perfume on my wrist. It's so weird. But I wish we had odorama so you could smell it. It's really, really delicious. Of the 4 formulations, the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, Eau de Parfum Intense, and the Pure Perfume, I would say my favorite is the Pure Perfume. I wish they made it in bigger sizes as well. You know, in the past, they used to make the Pure Perfume of Chanel No. 5 also in 15 milliliter spray, refillable spray containers. Now they only do 7.5 ml. This one is also available only 7.5 ml. I guess I might have to try to hunt down a tester bottle of the Pure Perfume, which they do sell sometimes, you know, secondhand. So the tester bottle of the Pure Perfume of all of the Chanel fragrances are made in 35 milliliter spray bottles. That's a great size. Also, they're made flat. They use the same bottle shapes that they use for 35 milliliter Allure Chanel, or their hairsprays for Allure, or Allure Sensuelle as well. I don't know why they decided that that's the shape of glass bottle that they would use for the pure perfume testers, but that's what they decided. No clue why, don't ask me why. But I know that some of you have seen me photograph. I have Coco, the pure perfume tester, and Chanel No. 5, the pure perfume tester in 35 ml. And some of you have been asking me, Dacob, why do the bottles not look like a Chanel 5 perfume? Well, that's just because Chanel decided that their testers of the pure perfumes will be, the liquids of the pure perfumes will be poured into the Allure and Allure Sensuelle bottles. Without any writing on top of them, they would just kind of add a sticker stating the name of the perfume, you know, Chanel No. 5 Parfum, onto the glass bottle. So there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do recommend it. It's small, it's tiny, it's also not a huge investment, and you could like definitely test it out and see if you like it or not. I will be repurchasing. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please do thumb it up and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't ever forget to never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.